going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Wednesday. That's right, it's hump day, and it certainly feels like a hump day with Bitcoin down almost 5%. You can see there is some mixed emotions in the market today. However, the one thing I do want to point out is if we switch this out of the USD comparative into the Bitcoin comparative, well, you'll actually notice that a lot of the altcoins are doing quite well. Some of them are even doing well in their USD comparative. So we're going to talk about this. Altcoins putting in absolute bottoms. Is this the time to buy? What's going on with Bitcoin? Some people are actually saying that this may be related to the fact that Barclays has left or they are leaving Coinbase. I want to talk about that as well. But you notice over here, we're still trying to push lower on these futures down to about 10,436 on Bybit. So the question is, was all of this Bitcoin as a safe haven just a fluke? Some people are coming out saying that it was basically just speculators thinking that this is where these people would put their money. And now that the tension seems to be waning down, are these investors pulling their funds out of Bitcoin currently, right? Because we still do have gold that's been going up as well. So we're going to talk about all of that today. If that sounds good to you, well, you know what to do. Also, if it's your first time checking out the Crypto Zombie channel and you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? We do this every single day. And as you know, every Monday is the Ledger Nano S giveaway. All you have to do is drop a comment literally on any video and you are eligible. Now here we go again. Bitcoin dominance down another 0.1%. You can see Bitcoin is down 5%. And like I said, switching this to the Bitcoin comparative, that's a lot of green in the altcoins today. In fact, some of the altcoins are doing quite well. Having a look, we do have VestChain up 22%, super low volume though, guys, 17,000%. Be careful with that. Bitcoin Gold, Chainlink, Bitcoin SV, Educare, Steam, Japan Content, Maximine Coin, Next, Cardano. So we are seeing some green in the altcoins, right? One coin that is not doing well, Veritasium, has actually had another 30% pullback. You can actually see the SEC has filed charges against Reggie Middleton and two entities that he controls. So, okay, this is a big deal. Obviously, this is not the type of altcoin that you want to be in today. However, I want to point out the fact that the fear and greed index is now showing extreme fear, 11. This is the lowest I've personally seen it in, I honestly can't even remember, a very, very long time. So what does this mean? Well, having a look over here at on-chain effects, you do notice that the Bitcoin real 10 volume is up. It's at 1.2 billion, but I do want to remind everyone that it's still substantially lower than those $5 billion levels that we were putting in before. So just wanted to make everyone aware of that. Now, interestingly enough, Josh Rager put out a tweet. He said Bitcoin short-term bottom, mid to high 10Ks or continuation back to 4-digit Bitcoin. Well, out of 3,805 votes, 50% say the bottom is mid to high 10Ks and 50% say continuation down to 9Ks. So obviously, we're having some confusion here. We are having a split decision down the middle. The bears and the bulls are confused. They don't know what they want to do. So let's dive in and let's have a look, because the first thing we're noticing is we fell out of this critical zone. So currently now we're not even being supported by the 200 moving average on the 4-hour, which was also a very important level. So currently there's not much supporting us, right? You'll notice that we are below all of the EMAs on the EMA ribbon, and we're looking at the only real support we have down here is around that $9,000 level where we had this wick from July 28th, and we also touched down here around July 17th. But you don't necessarily need to go running for the hills just yet, okay? Currently, we have been supported by this trend right here. You can see we wicked down to about 10,360, but we are trying to push lower, and it's not really providing the greatest support right now. So the next level down here would be around pretty much this $10,130 level, which starts the top of this red zone, okay? So obviously we're not going to try to be bearish, but it does look like currently we're going to be putting in some lower levels or some sideways consolidation. Now, we spoke about this yesterday. Currently, we are still in this upwards trend. This is good. So this is short term, pretty good, guys, as long as we don't fall out of this. And in order to get out of this, this would have to be below $10,000. Now, I did speak about $9,300 yesterday on the channel, but I do want to remind us that we are still in this giant wedge that's been forming ever since we had this April 1st sort of blast off. We've only briefly touched it just down here in this region, and then right here again, which as you guys can see, it did provide support. So I would be looking short term to hopefully get supported around the $10,100 level. If we do wick below it and we get pulled back up into the region, then that will be a very good sign. But keep in mind that we could be going sideways and consolidating until the beginning of September. I know it can be quite boring. Nobody wants to sit here and watch a chart go sideways for 2 weeks, but that pretty much could be what's going on. Now, not to say it doesn't provide great opportunities for little scalp trades. You could do a lot of shorts and longs, right? I mean, obviously, as we start to approach these levels, the probability of putting in a long and having it be successful do tend to get better and better, right? But we'll keep our eyes on that moving forward. Also, just to look at a more simplified chart using the hike and a she, you could see it's the same exact thing right here, still looking at the same exact day for a breakout or breakdown. Now, currently over on the daily, you notice that we have fallen below the 50, okay? So this is something to be of concern, because if we go back in time, and I just want to show you what tends to happen, we either get supported by the 50 or we fall and get supported by the next levels, which are either the 100 or in this case, I've actually included the 200 exponential just because I find that it plays out a little better on the charts. But having a look right here, when we fall below, for example, the last time we did back here, September 13th of 2017, we wicked down about 20%. We were supported here, supported by it here. Okay, right here, we fell below it again. So let's see what well, actually, that was the bear market, so I don't have to tell you what that was all about, right? But having a look right here, you can see that we have fallen below it. So there is a good chance that we do get supported by the 100 right here. So like I said, looking at that, putting in, that'll be about a 12% from the 50. Currently where we are right now, that wouldn't be too much farther down. That would be roughly about an 8% dip, okay? So we are looking at those levels, and that level is sitting around $9,622. Now, interestingly enough, we are still seeing gold pumping. So are investors saying, okay, we had fun with our Bitcoin gains, now we're hopping into gold? Well, I do want to mention that because you can see Peter Schiff, now you know he is probably the gold bug to end all gold bugs, definitely not a fan of Bitcoin. He says now that trade tension with China has eased, the pressure on the yuan is off, those who bought Bitcoin to speculate on Chinese safe haven buying, which never happened, are taking their chips off the table. But with Bitcoin, it's much easier to put your money in than to cash out. No idea what he means by that. It's just as easy to buy Bitcoin as it is to sell Bitcoin. I don't have any difficulty selling Bitcoin. In fact, I just sold a little bit of Bitcoin yesterday because I have to pay for some stuff and I am going to be traveling next week. So not quite sure what he's talking about there. But having a look short term, you are noticing that we have put in a green dot on the 4 hour. Now, I'm actually looking at the Bybit chart right here because I would assume if you're looking to long and short, you're probably using Bybit. And if you're looking at the market cipher, well, be careful because we have put in a green dot. However, just remember that these do call bottoms. They don't call absolute bottoms. And we did have a red blood diamond get put in just before the massive drop. So I am going to say be careful right now. However, like I said, we do look like we may want to retest some of those supports and we may have a subsequent bounce back, right? We could even go up to about 11,800 before being rejected again. So just keep that in mind. But if you guys are interested, oh, also one thing, if you're using Market Cipher, you have to update it. So basically just delete it. Some people said they have to log out of TradingView and then log back in. Just going to let you guys know that. So basically just, delete it and then just reinstall it. And as long as you have access to it, you should have no problem. Also, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you can check out the video that's popping up overhead right now. But that being said, I do want to remind us that we are still holding this parabolic advance. And, like I said, we could bounce off this $10,000 almost psychological level right now. And you do see there is still a lot of downwards pressure. So also talking about the altcoins, because we are, the altcoins today are seeing a lot of green, right, compared to Bitcoin. So having a look, Bitcoin dominance has pulled back. We hit not all-time high, but a high since last December's all-time high of about 71.64. We've pulled back a little bit, but keep in mind, we are still extremely high. Having a look at these altcoins, they are still very, very low compared to where they've been before. And I've sort of broken them off into these bands. You can see there's sort of different levels that the altcoins like to hang out. The reason that I've done this is because, let's be honest, I know we always go, oh, the altcoins altcoins, the altcoins. Well, let's be honest, not all of the altcoins are going to move together at the same time, right? We're going to have some altcoins doing quite well and others, to be quite honest, they're dead. They're dead and they're not coming back, guys, okay? But for the altcoins that are the ones that we're looking to accumulate right now, I would honestly say that in these red zones, this red level is excellent time to accumulate altcoins. Not financial advice. Don't just do it because I said to. But if you're looking to accumulate altcoins or you're looking to do altcoin trading, now could be the time to really get in for those lows. Also, just so you guys know, I do understand that leverage trading can be very risky. Some people do like to just hold altcoins and trade in and out. I do have a strategy for that as well. I'll drop that above. It's my top trading strategy. But you do have to use something, for example, like 3 commas so that you can automate your trades, because it's obviously very hard to keep track of these. And these markets, they don't sleep, right? They are 24/7. So that is the point that I wanted to point out. But, okay, every, shitcoin bag holder, is this alt season? Well, it might not be alt season for everyone, because the one thing I want to point out here is just coming over to Masari again and having a look at how far down these altcoins are from their all-time highs. You can see there are literally only a handful of, and I'm talking just a handful of altcoins that are doing better than 80% down from their all-time high. Literally, Litecoin is down 78%, Maker 71%, Chainlink 48%, Bitcoin SV 41. I'm sorry, Chainlink was 43. Bitcoin is down 48. Binance 28 and 16%. Huobi token, the rest are down a lot higher, or there's not enough data. They're too new of coins. I mean, you could see most of them are down below 80%. So I just wanted to point that out. Also, by the way, if you are, just heads up, if you are holding altcoins, if you are holding them on an exchange, which I don't recommend, and it is Binance will be performing a scheduled system upgrade starting August 15th at 2 a.m. UTC time, and it's going to last about 6 to 8 hours. Just a friendly reminder to everybody out there. Now, here's the big news. You have London-based Barclays seems to have decided that they will stop working with crypto exchange Coinbase. This may not seem like a huge problem at first because Coinbase has already started working with UK upstart Clearbank. However, there is the faster payment scheme, or some people know it as FPS, that makes instant withdrawing and deposits of British pounds at the exchange possible. So unfortunately now, Coinbase's access to FPS is interrupted, meaning that deposits and withdrawals in GBP for UK clients are much slower, and it takes them days to be processed. So maybe this is what Peter Schiff was talking about, days to get it out, right? Crypto firms are experiencing a hard time getting banks as partners because big banks are not really eager to enter this sector. Unfortunately, it is still a very confusing time for these guys. So is this personally... or is this, I should say, affecting the Bitcoin price right now? It could have it could have something small to do with it. Maybe that we're just waiting for these withdrawals are taking forever. But I mean, ultimately, we had these trends, we had these signals, we had these indicators. I mean, I think we really looked after we got rejected at 12,000 and 12,500 all those times. We kind of knew that it was time to go lower and to consolidate. But I want to talk about some good stuff too. Geez, the price goes down and suddenly everybody becomes a bear. So Samsung's crypto wallet, the Blockchain Keystore, has added support for Bitcoin. I know, right? Why didn't they have Bitcoin to begin with? They actually started with Ethereum, which was interesting, but yes, they've currently added it. Now, they've done it somewhat silently. They didn't have any type of an official announcement, which means that they might add support for other cryptocurrencies in a similar way moving forward. So you might just see them sort of show up without any type of a big announcement, right? They say the Blockchain Keystore is also restricted to only 7 countries, being Canada, Germany, South Korea, Switzerland, Spain, and the UK and the US. They also say that, if you're in another country, you're not going to be able to simply install it. You either have it on your device or you don't. They say that it's preloaded on selected devices only. If your device is not supported, then you will not be able to find support in the store. But let me talk about some freaking awesome news that came out today from Monarch. I actually use Monarch Wallet. It's one of my favorite mobile wallets currently. They have reoccurring crypto payments. Now, this is amazing because we know currently you don't really have those options to have a payment that reoccurs, but that's something very common that we use all the time in our everyday lives. So coming down here, you could see that currently they are having it used in conjunction with MetaMask, but they are looking to eventually have it on the Monarch wallet for the actual iOS and Android as well. So basically, it's really simple. You just describe what it is. You write the payment, how frequent, what day it happens. the number of payments, and then you pick what you want to use. So currently they have Monarch token, TrueUSD, DAI, or Ethereum. And just so you know, you do get a 0.5% discount for processing fee if you do use Monarch token. So really simple auto invoice generation and you're done. So click here, start now, and that's it, guys. So I think this is pretty big news. Also, I just wanted to retouch on what I said yesterday because I think I left something important out. So basically, in 11 days, you're going to be able to pre-vote your favorite P-reps on Icon. So the pre-voting period is also designed to balance out votes between the various candidates vying to become P-reps. The Icon Foundation is encouraging its community to spread individual votes between P-reps as a means of avoiding the centralization of power among a few node holders. Now, this is a problem that we've seen a lot of people talk about with different projects. Now, I'm not nitpicking any specific project. I don't have anything against them, but you've heard about how, there's a large number of EOS tokens, right, that are held by a small number of exchanges in Wales, which have been found to engage in collusion and mutual voting. So Icon is trying to avoid this. So essentially, it's going to start August 26th and it's going to run to September 24th. During this time, anyone holding ICX tokens is an Icon, or you have to hold it in an IconX wallet, obviously. You could stake your tokens and vote for your P-reps, but what I really want to show you was they have this calculator down here right now. So, how many tokens are you holding? Say you're holding 20,000, staking 30%, then your annual return would be 3,160. So that was what I wanted to say yesterday, but we got that out of the way. So that was basically that situation. Also, Ethfinex is rebranding to diversify, okay? Not really sure what else about this statement, but that's what they said. They're going to basically rebrand. Also, friendly reminder to any of the taxpayers in the US that got the letter 6173, okay? It looks like, you only have a few days to reply to that. So the most serious of the three letters, basically they say if recipients do not respond to this letter in time, their tax accountants will be audited by the IRS. Yeah, basically, guys, just you need to look into this if they hit you up with that, okay? So just, look into this. It's serious. If you got letter 6173, I'm not really going to go into it. But good news, geez, so much like bad news with taxes and Bitcoin falling and Barclays leaving Coinbase. I know. I don't want to put out a video that's negative today. Dallas Mavericks have become the second NBA team to accept Bitcoin as a means of payment for match tickets and merchandise. So this is actually the second team. The first team was the Sacramento Kings, but yeah, we all know Mark Cuban is behind the Dallas Mavericks, and he recently came out. He didn't have a lot of nice things to say about gold and Bitcoin, but he had nicer things to say about Bitcoin than he did about gold. So this is a step in the right direction moving forward. Also, just have to throw in this kind of hilarious Facebook news. According to Bloomberg, Facebook confirmed that it had used middlemen firms to transcribe audio messages from its Messenger app. The practice, which the company says is halted as of last week, only involved users who had given their permission for audio collection. However, Facebook did not once again disclose that data would be sent to third parties. So just more reasons that we don't trust Facebook. This is exactly the issue that people are having with Libra cryptocurrency moving forward. And I want to end on this one funny note because I want to keep today's video short. I know it's Wednesday, not much to talk about, kind of boring markets. We're probably going to go slightly down, slightly sideways. We could be consolidating for 2 more weeks. What do you want me to talk about? But you guys remember when BitMEX basically put this article out, or they put this 2-page paper out, and it said 10 years ago today, the first block of the Bitcoin blockchain referenced the front page of the Times. Turns out that was a pretty big deal. Well, it says the UK Advertising Standard Authority didn't like the fact that they used the logarithmic chart, basically saying that its use of the chart exaggerates Bitcoin's success and failed to illustrate the risk of investing. So essentially, this is the, regular chart. This is the log chart. Okay, this chart does look a lot better. This chart does not look as great, right? But still, guys, we're going up. So yeah, there are risks, but the only time that you would be down is if you bought above this line. So yeah, it's still whatever. I think it's funny. But that being said, let me know what you guys think about that. So that is it for me today, guys. Trying to keep it short. It is Wednesday. It's been a bit of a crazy week with Bitcoin. Definitely seen sentiment shift from, the bulls to the bears. I'm still a bull, long term, short term. Yes, it's going to be a little bit shaky, but that being said, guys, thank you so much.